Could this be the hidden reason behind Prince Harry's falling out with the head of his treasured charity, Sentebale? Rumor has it that she spent jaw-dropping sums on business consultants in a bid to crack the American market, just as a charity regulator kicked off an investigation. Sources close to the matter say that the rift between Prince Harry and the charity chief was sparked, in part, by her lavish spending on outside experts. They reveal that a bitter clash in the boardroom, one that forced the Duke of Sussex, his co-founder Prince Cecil of Lesotho, and all the charity's trustees to step down, was fueled by financial strains and deep-seated disagreements. It has been reported that Dr. Sophie Shandaka, 47, who now chairs Sentebale, has already poured over £427,000 into consultant fees since assuming her role in July 2023, as noted by The Times. In the past week alone, she and Prince Harry, 40, have traded cutting remarks, each launching a public relations offensive as they try to pin the blame for the charity's current crisis on one another. The latest accounts from Sentebale show a total income of just £3.41 million, a figure that has raised eyebrows given the steep spending on consultants. These experts were brought in to craft a strategy aimed at wooing donations from wealthy individuals and foundations in the United States. Yet, sources close to the former trustees told the BBC that these consultants failed to produce any meaningful results. They argue that had the U.S. strategy succeeded, the current crisis might have been avoided altogether. While a spokesperson for Sentebale told The Times that major decisions were made collectively by the board, someone close to the departed patrons claims otherwise. This insider asserted, "It's important to note that this decision was made unilaterally, without board approval." The highest fee on the consultancy front was a staggering £185,000 paid to Lebec, a woman-led strategy firm founded by Alex Lebec, a former asset manager with past leadership roles at both the World Bank and Water.org. In April 2024, Lebec hosted events featuring both Harry and Shandaka on the same panel, where they showcased Sentebale's significant impact. A spokeswoman for Sentebale later told Mail Online that the board was fully aware of and had approved the contract with Lebec. The charity claimed that hiring the U.S. firm was part of a plan to build a fresh fundraising strategy and that by October 2024 a team of 6 consultants had secured 65 key contacts with potential donors. According to their statement, the 12-month deal with Lebec had hit every target, providing the positioning strategy, tools, and insights needed to enter the U.S. market with both success and credibility. Amid the whirlwind of claims and counterclaims surrounding Sentebale, the Charity Commission has stepped in to examine the situation. Today, the watchdog announced that it had launched a regulatory compliance case involving the charity, a move that Shandaka welcomed. In a rare public statement, Harry expressed that the crisis had left him heartbroken while also welcoming the investigation. Once the probe wraps up, the commission will decide if further inquiry is necessary. Due to the intense and very personal nature of the dispute, Shandaka felt forced to shut down her social media accounts amid accusations of online bullying by racist trolls. In her account, she recalled that when she took over Sentebale in July 2023 and reviewed the charity's finances for the past 7 years, she discovered a clear link between the decline in commercial support and Prince Harry's departure from the UK. The Oxford-educated Zimbabwean lawyer, who previously served on the charity's board from 2009 to 2015 and whose family ranks as the third-largest donor, called Sentebale little more than a vanity project for Harry. Portraying herself as a whistleblower, she highlighted issues like poor governance, weak management, abuse of power, bullying, harassment, misogyny, and the subsequent cover-up. Shandaka painted a stark picture of the charity's troubles, describing the toxicity surrounding its lead patron's brand as the biggest risk to its future. However, royal insiders have fired back. They dismissed claims that Harry personally harassed and bullied her as a diversion tactic and argued that the mass resignation of trustees was a direct result of her mismanagement. On Tuesday, April 1st, an insider told The Telegraph, "She's definitely playing the race card openly. This is her plan. Whenever someone questions her, she immediately brings up race and turns on you." Another source, speaking about Shandaka, branded the allegations as horrific and extraordinarily ironic. Some sources maintain that Sentebale was financially stable when Shandaka took charge in 2023. They argue that blaming any drop in revenue on Harry's move out of the UK in 2020 is baseless, especially since the charity has always leaned heavily on his name for fundraising. These latest claims emerged after Mail Online analyzed Sentebale's financial accounts, which detail the charity's total income and spending for each year as required by the UK Charity Commission. Their analysis shows that Sentebale's finances had been steady over the past decade. When Harry left the royal family in the UK in January 2020, the accounts filed in August that year revealed the charity's income hit its lowest point in 10 years at £2.39 million. Yet, in subsequent years, income bounced back to a peak of £4.55 million in 2022. However, any deep dive into Sentebale's impact since July 2023 is limited, as the financial accounts for 2024 have yet to be released. The most recent public accounts date from August 2023, meaning Sentebale had only been chair for 1 month when they were published. When asked by Mail Online about the next release, Sentebale said it would come in the third quarter of 2025. The charity explained that its fiscal year had been shifted to match the calendar year, so the 2023/2024 report covered 16 months to align with the U.S. fundraising cycle. In a dramatic twist last week, Prince Harry, along with co-founder Prince Seeiso of Lesotho, 58, and all 5 of the charity's trustees, resigned rather than continue working under Sentebale's leadership. The fallout began on Wednesday, March 26, when the Duke of Sussex revealed that unthinkable infighting had forced him to make the shock decision to step down from the charity he founded in 2006 in honor of Princess Diana, a charity dedicated to helping young people in Southern Africa living with HIV and AIDS. In a bombshell statement, Harry lamented the devastating decision to leave his role as patron, alongside his second dad Mark Dyer, who also resigned as a trustee. Sentebale, whose resume boasts senior roles at big names in tech and finance, fired back with a scathing response, accusing the charity's senior staff of weak management and hinting that Harry was playing the victim. In a fiery interview on Sunday, Sentebale claimed that donor support dwindled because of the prince's tarnished reputation following his departure from royal duties. There was a clear link between the loss of major donors and the moment Prince Harry left the UK, she said. She argued that the charity lost both corporate sponsors and individual donors, and in her view, the blame lay squarely on his shoulders. She recalled that during a review of the charity's finances in July 2023, records showed that donors started pulling out soon after Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal life. "When you look at the board minutes, there was no talk about our biggest funders," she said. And when the senior team was asked why this wasn't discussed, the answer was that it was too tough to have that conversation with Prince Harry in the room. Sentebale also blamed the media buzz around Harry's 2022 documentary and his autobiography, Spare, for making it harder to hire senior staff and attract new donors. She even claimed that Harry unleashed the Sussex machine on her, accusing him of large-scale harassment and bullying when she tried to implement changes. Meanwhile, sources close to the Sussexes insist that Harry and Meghan have a very different story about what happened at Sentebale. Though a spokesman for the Sussexes declined to comment, friends of the Duke point out that he has raised over £12 million for the charity and donated more than £1 million from book sales. They dismiss claims that his fundraising efforts were merely rubber-stamped by the board as completely unfounded. Former Overseas Development Minister Baroness Chalker of Wallasey, who served as a trustee for 20 years, even described Dr. Sentebale as almost dictatorial. The 5 trustees who resigned cited their loss of trust and confidence in the chair as the main reason for their departure. When questioned by Sky News about her allegations of bullying and misogyny, trustee Kalelo Larathali stated, "In the meetings I attended, I never saw even a hint of such behavior." Sentebale has long been a controversial and, at times, divisive figure. The deep-seated strife within the charity eventually led her to launch legal action to block trustees from removing her, a move that was reportedly orchestrated by Harry, according to her allies. The trustees, on the other hand, accused her of bullying staff, altering meeting records, and spending huge sums on consultants. In a Saturday interview with the FT, Sentebale explained that she wanted to restructure Sentebale to boost U.S. fundraising and focus on Africa-led projects. But these changes, she claimed, left the board worried that the Africans are taking over. She argued that the charity's original setup from 2006 was outdated in a post-Black Lives Matter world and that donors were now demanding locally led projects. This shift, she said, sparked tensions between UK staff and those in Lesotho, where most of the charity's 500-plus workers are based. A source close to the trustees suggested that while they supported the idea of moving fundraising to America, the problem was that Shandaka had not managed it effectively. Prince Harry has not directly addressed Shandaka's allegations, with some sources close to him and the trustees dismissing her claims as a publicity stunt, according to the Times. The paper also noted concerns when available funds for the charity dipped below its self-imposed £600,000 safety net after Shandaka took over. Sentebale later told Mail Online that it is still expecting around $1 million from pre-approved donations this quarter, with delays due to new governance rules set by the U.S. administration executive orders. Royal expert Richard Palmer, writing in the newspaper, claimed that Shandaka wanted to reduce the charity's reliance on funds raised by well-meaning, upper-class donors, many of whom were tied to Prince Harry. He noted that glamorous polo matches, which had long been a key source of funding, might be scaled back. One source even said that Shandaka upset a major financial backer of the Sentebale Polo Cup, leading to the event's cancellation in 2024. Palmer believes that when a financial deal fell apart in December, the board turned against Shandaka and tried to vote her out in February. In response, the seasoned lawyer took her case to the High Court, a move that reportedly led the 5 trustees and the princely founders to resign. More details about the turning point in Shandaka and Harry's relationship surfaced on Sunday during an interview on Sky News' Trevor Phillips show. There, she claimed that in April 2024, Prince Harry nearly derailed a polo match meant to raise funds for Sentebale by insisting on bringing a Netflix camera crew. Shandaka recounted how Meghan had initially said she wouldn't attend the event, only to show up with a celebrity friend, now revealed as tennis star Serena Williams, causing a chaotic scene during the trophy presentation. The incident, which saw the Duchess seemingly pull the charity boss away from her husband on stage, led to a storm of media criticism over Meghan's behavior. Shandaka explained that when Harry asked her to issue a statement supporting the Duchess, she refused. "Not because I didn't care, but because I knew what would follow, and we cannot just be an arm of the Sussexes," she said. She also described a situation where, after securing a Miami polo ground at a good rate for a fundraising event, Harry called about a month before the event and reportedly said, "I'm doing a Netflix show, and I'd love to have a camera crew to capture some footage." Using his connections, the charity managed to secure another venue, with the Duke present and even an unexpected visit from Meghan. Meanwhile, sources close to the Sussexes claim that Shandaka's version of the Miami polo match debacle is highly misleading. They suggest that the original venue had already changed its terms, causing costs to rise, and that the charity had no choice but to find a new location, with help from Harry's friend and fellow polo player, Nacho Figueres. According to these sources, the decision had nothing to do with Netflix. Earlier today, the Charity Commission announced it had launched a regulatory compliance case into Sentebale. The commission said it had notified the charity yesterday about opening this case to look into concerns raised about its operations. This process allows the watchdog to gather evidence and check if the charity and its trustees, past and present, have met their legal duties under charity law. Although this is not the same as a full statutory inquiry, the commission explained that it is in direct contact with those who raised the issues. Regulatory compliance cases can lead to several outcomes, from an official warning to the opening of a statutory inquiry that grants the Commission extra investigative powers. The Commission mentioned that it would work with the trustees to issue guidance or an action plan, but it also has the legal authority to step in if the charity lacks its own measures to fix governance problems. In cases of suspected abuse or mismanagement, a statutory inquiry may eventually be launched to dig deeper and resolve the issues. Each new twist in this unfolding saga leaves us hanging on the edge, waiting to see how far the fallout will reach.